If all acquaintance me forgot you, the red, white, and blue. This is not. Welcome to Deep Balls Podcast, and I'm Brandon Rogers, and we got Jonathan Hinman and Gabriel Gonzalez, and we are ending this year with a 6-ball bang because there's 3 men, and well, this is the thing here. Do you guys feel like 2018 did you good or did it fuck you over?
Yeah. Well, wait. What do you think?
I mean, realistically, we all kind of had the same 2018. We've
we definitely had similarities.
We've been in each other's lives every single week of the. Wow,
Wait a
we've
minute.
been in each other's lives every single week.
That's true.
For the whole year.
I've seen you guys more than I've seen anyone.
Is that true?
Likewise, I've seen the two of you
true.
more than I've seen any other human being.
Yeah, let's all say that again, but like with the way we feel.
I only want to look at you when you're sucking my dick. No, it has been a great year. We were just outside a moment ago talking about just how lucky we are this year and how how awesome it is that we work together. I mean, before I think we worked with Jonathan in 2017, but I think 2018 really solidified. For sure. It really solidified our working relationship.
It was even earlier than that, right?
Mm-hmm. It was 2016 when we first started working with Jonathan.
Right.
But that was exclusively really just through Magic Funhouse. Yeah. That was really just Jonathan was line producing that show, which for those of you who don't know, as I didn't know at the time, line producing is essentially overseeing every single moving aspect of the show, from the security to the every department head. You're organizing every gear in this clock, catering, medical, everything. And so Jonathan, that's where we met him. He was line producing Magic Funhouse, and
that was super fun. That was the most fun.
Oh my god! Oh my god! We might be a curse though. Every company we work with seems to have gone under. But here we are. Here we are still.
I wouldn't know. Oh my god, you're anarchist. Well, there's a demon that came out.
No. It needs to be said. Things like this is deep balls. So no, but realistically, I never would have thought that we would. I mean, here we are, still standing, still going hard, doing what so many big entities have tried and failed to do. And at the end of 2018, we are at our highest numbers to date and going strong. And I think that knock on wood, I hope for that was plastic. You don't have a single piece of
plastic works.
There's my boner. I knocked on it for good luck. No, I think that this is a very exciting time for us. I think there's no. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but making videos for me, like when I was younger, this was something that I would sneak out of work or school to go do. Making videos was my secret. It was like my hobby that took away from everything else that was practical and encouraged upon me, going to school, going to work, being there for your family, being and so I think you could do all those things and still, like I did it secretly. I worked a graveyard thing and I was able to, and so here I am, 2018, and we are in full-fledged from beginning to end of the year. No more underdog shit for us. We are in full-fledged mode, and it feels amazing. I mean, this year is the year of collaborations. At least when I look at a lot
of people,
we did. At our channel
for the first time.
For the first time, when you look at our channel, I've just never have bothered to reach out to big YouTubers in the past. Maybe like once or twice for like a Skype cameo or maybe a 2-second thing. But next thing you know, I reach out to John Cozart, who I was a big fan of because he hosted the stream. I mean, I've always been a fan of him. He's a very creative guy, but last year he hosted the Streamies, and I was there in person watching him, and my mouth was just wide open. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy is talent! This guy is incredible. Has an it factor that you don't see a lot on the internet anymore. I mean, this guy is a performer outside of the internet. You could tell, and he's a genuine. So when I saw that, I'm like, and plus, I tend to gravitate toward theater people. I tend to get along really well with people who just have that theater kind of whimsy about them. Mm-hmm. And I saw John Cozart, and I just was instantly reminded of so many of the people that I used to love acting with back in college. Nice. And I was like, you know what? I have a feeling. And sure enough, he was like amazing. We worked with him the first time on the silly cat video, the Clifton the cat one.
It was so funny.
And that was a very fun video for 2 reasons. It was the first time we filmed at a location like that. It was a mansion, and we had unfeathered access to the entire house. in a very remote location so we could be as loud as we want. So the set in itself felt like a level up.
Yeah, truly never been in a situation like that.
Right.
In a place like that. Yeah.
Huge house, beautiful home. And then on top of that, that was like our second time working with a big YouTuber, John Kozart, and he shows up and he again, like super delightful to work with.
Sky Williams was in it.
Sky Williams. It was Sky Williams' home that we shot it in. And it was a trifecta because Sky Williams is someone that I knew way back in the day. I didn't know him very well, but we met we were both living up in the Bay Area still, and he saw theater class when I was making theater class, and he made a show kind of like theater class. It was his own thing. It was at a diner, and that one was really funny. And we kind of had these two different shows, web series we were making at the time.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
It was 2009 or 2010.
Damn.
2010. But we had these two web series.
Damn, it's like so long.
Wow.
Dude, sorry about that, man.
I know my balls were still in my body. But I remember we used a lot of the same cast too. It was weird. It was like he had a show and I had a show, but they never overlapped. But we used the same actors.
How is he a director? Is he a fucking asshole?
I mean, from what I heard, he was a good guy. I mean, I never. But then we kind of lost contact. Here we are, cut to 2017, and we get in touch again, and he says, "Hey, we should work on something." And then we kind of fall out of touch again for another year. And so finally, here in 2018, I was happy that finally I got to work with Sky, and it just felt like a long time coming because last time we saw each other, we were essentially nobodies, and here we are on the other side of it, and we've both come such a long way, and it felt. It was just
parallel journey.
Yeah, a little parallel journey. Exactly.
I did also notice a camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, between you guys too. That was pleasant to see. I was like, oh, cool. So he's, this guy's once again very professional, but we're also going to have like a friendly time here.
Yeah, and then
all right, let's do this.
And then you just add John Kozart on top of that. I mean, it was just such a fun fucking shoot. Like we had. I mean, that was the first standalone video that you produced for us because you started on Stefan and Sam. Yeah. And that was the first video after Stefan and Sam ended that
we kept on working together.
We kept on working together. That was it. I was so convinced. I was like, watch, as soon as Stefan and Sam's over, Jonathan's going to take off. He's not going to want to work with it. and then it was when we were filming the silly cat video. I was like, here he is. Well, I mean, I knew that wasn't the case, but like it was just kind of nice to see. Like we are after Stefan and Sam, and he still comes back.
It was a different thing, right? There was one thing, a big project that had a total identity.
We talked about it a few times. That stuff in Sam was legit 6 months.
Yeah.
We need to stop and talk about this for a second. I do want to talk about the other people we've worked with, but I think we should talk about Stuff and Sam because that is next to the tour. That is the gaping mass of this year still, even though it's the beginning of the year. Stuff and Sam, for those of you who don't know, and I like to include everyone, even let's pretend they haven't seen the series here. Well, originally I was thinking it was going to be some kind of a public access show where I'm just sitting there on a chair with like Paulette and we're just talking to the camera.
90 seconds.
Right, 90 little short things. And here we go into, we go through 1 through 4, and something about episodes 1 through 4. I mean, we were really trying to find our groove creatively. I just wasn't loving how I was piecing everything together. And then episode 5 hit, and you'll notice on episode 5, there's a notable shift in just the way we all kind of tell the story, the way that things are unraveled. And then we kind of realized this is not just some talk show. This is a show about a character's journey. About something bigger, and it has 3 acts in every episode. So now these episodes are much more gargantuan in content quality, length,
and unwritten. We had to do
and unwritten.
That's the huge one too.
We suddenly realized, fuck. Yeah. So we really had half of our year, I guess a quarter of 2017 and a quarter of 2018 really went to, more or less. We had 6 months that went through right through the holiday season. So we really didn't get like a full-fledged Thanksgiving. We didn't get like a full-fledged Christmas. We didn't really, the holiday season last year did not feel like it quite hit us.
So imagine that 5 months to 6 months working with Jonathan every week, putting this very gargantuan feeling feeling of like intense.
We're seeing each other every day.
It's like this was a very real task to do.
Yeah, everything was about it.
Let me just lay it out here. I think the only day we didn't see each other sometimes was Sunday,
right?
Because this was our schedule. Monday we'd meet at 10 in the morning, and we would, and here we are right now. We would be this time Monday morning. Right. We'd be writing, and we'd spend about 3 or 4 hours just writing. And then if we didn't have enough by the end of that session, then the next day or that night, Jonathan and I would call each other. The next day, we would just, all three of us would meet.
And we'd be writing even when we broke session.
Even when we broke session, we would still be thinking about
writing stuff.
Yeah. And so that you want to finish the script as soon as possible because you cannot generate a prop and costume list or location list until you finish the script. So the script is key to everything else going into action.
And then let's add to the mix that like Paulette was there.
Paulette was there.
2 of those days usually of the week, you know, like we were working with other people.
Right. Anytime we needed like a big location, something that really needed to be rented, we can't do it the day before. We have to like be heads up enough about the next episode and a little bit about the one after that. And
as we got closer to the ending, we did get bigger locations. We did get because the story got bigger, and so we needed more specific areas.
We were always thinking 3 episodes at once because you have to.
I think once we got to episode 5, and I really started knowing where the series was going. Maybe even before that, I knew what the last episode was going to be. I remember the last episode was always in our minds, and so those bigger elements we could prepare for. But then it's like, okay, the 2 or 3 episodes before the last one, those are the heavy.
It's so funny because you see that those 20 episodes, and I feel like you can see all of our process, like as going through.
Yeah.
Just when the audience, all the developments of what the hell is going on. If you really look, you'll see.
I personally think, and this goes for Magic Funhouse, this goes for Theater Class, this goes for every project I've ever done. I think when you watch it as an audience, member, you don't see the same production that we see having made it. When we watch, go back and watch our work, we are seeing every mindset we were in that day. We remember the difficulties that day had. We remember the pleasantries. Remember how fun certain things. You remember
the takes that got screwed up and
right. It really is like a journal.
Wash blood off the camera or something.
It's like a photo album, really. It's like looking back and just you look at a photo album to remember how.
Like, I took that picture too. Right. I took that one.
And it's right. Those are good picture days. I think that it's a great experience to go back and watch your work because you remember all the hard work. Whether it was a good or bad experience, you certainly remember what it took to make that. To have it be created. And I have to say, just on the topic of this, I saw a quote from John Cozart the other day, and I'm paraphrasing it horribly, so I apologize for this, but I thought it was a beautiful thing, and I just want to say it here. As artists, as entertainers, I think he says, as entertainers, it is our obligation to create things that would not have been created if we were not created. And I feel like that's a great thing. I feel like Stefan and Sam, who else would have made that fucking show? Like that was such a weird, like both.
That was for you to make.
It was for us to make. For us to make. It really was a 3. It really was a 3-man process. I've never bonded with anyone else in my life over one project the way I did with you. Like it was.
That's true. That's very true.
Because most projects that you're on that long, you have a bunch of people. I've never worked on a 6-month thing with 2 other people. That's and really, Paulette as well. We saw her. Sometimes more than twice a week. Sometimes we started 3 days.
Sometimes.
Her house, thank God she let us film there.
Yeah.
Because...
But she's the secret, help too.
She was...
extra ingredient of just
she might have not been with us every single day, but she was just as much a part of this equation. I mean, because Sam and Donna's house is Paulette's home. And there were days where we would just occupy her home. For how many times did we get done shooting and then we'd all get high?
Right.
And then we would be there for 3 or 4 more hours. Okay. So then by the time we're going home, it is midnight when we did get there at noon. Okay. But we definitely took up a lot of her time. And I think she genuinely had a lot of fun because she never complained. She never kicked us out unless she had to go somewhere. And even if she had to leave somewhere, she would just let
had a fantastic time.
No, she did. I know she did. She multiple times she would say it.
If she had to leave somewhere, she would just let us keep filming there. And it was a very
Paulette was super cooperative.
Yeah,
it was
very,
super
very
great
much
and
so.
very into the show, very supportive.
She was very into the show. She was willing to go. There was never a time where I felt like she couldn't or or wouldn't do something we weren't asking her. In fact, she was always going the extra mile. Like she over-decorated her house because she knew we were doing a Christmas episode.
I really want to go back and watch the show because there is a thing where like when we did it and then I left it behind for a second.
Same. I think we should do that. I kind of want to do that together. No,
right, that would be fun to go through a little session.
It would be fun to get a few friends who haven't seen the whole show and just kind of have like a little screening like we did with Day at the Beach and just kind of do like a little thing at one of our houses and just screen it.
Day at the Beach. That was fun.
It's like 2 hours and 30 something minutes total.
Really quick. I want to talk about Day at the Beach. 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's a long. We have an intermission.
Serious.
We have a quick. We'd all have to have a quick pee and sex break. But the thing, a day at the. What was I just about to talk about? Day at the Beach.
Day at the Beach screening.
Day at the Beach.
Oh my God. Okay, so Day at the Beach was another huge part of this year, and that was.
It felt different though. Like I remember,
it did feel different.
And this is from a very personal perspective. Stefan and Sam was like stressed because that 20 episodes a week.
A Day at the Beach was never
one of
stressed.
the happiest videos we've ever done.
True.
I think because we were at the beach and we were just with our friends.
We didn't have deadlines.
Every day was at the beach.
It was I loved it. It was so fun doing that video.
The weather was nice.
So many characters.
Take our time with it. In post, I really got to take my time and iron out scenes to make sure they were exactly how I wanted them to look. If we needed to reshoot anything, we could. We could afford to take another day. Once we were about 5 days out, once I knew we were about this is definitely going to be done in about 5 days. Then I dropped a release date. But overall, I just genuinely, I think we all had a great time.
And I think that was an extra fun one to put together because it was just like, what's your favorite thing for the X character to do? You create your own single storyline real quick for that character, but it's just like everything was so there are fewer rules, and it's just like I want to see this character do that.
Of all of the, exactly, it's this is a different element. How what's the beach like for this character? How does this character need the beach? Why are they there? And that was fun to play with the characters in that world.
Definitely a different beast.
I really, of all the projects we've ever worked on or I've ever worked on, I look back and there's very few of them that were so. I look back and I want to go back and make that again. It's like a fond memory that you really enjoy going back and living in for a minute. There's only a few videos of mine that are that magical. I think the Power Rangers one is one of them.
Oh my God.
The Power Rangers one, I look back and I'm like, that was a fun video. Honestly, I kind of think this Christmas one that we just did is going to be one. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Good.
But definitely a Day at the Beach might be
it's a big one.
The video I've enjoyed doing the most, actually.
Me too.
Because we had so much. It was just. You're on the beach and it's beautiful, and there was just we were all getting high after the shoot and just watching the sunset every day over the water, and we were working with all of our friends. We had a chance to work with. We had an excuse to be with a lot of people.
We were at the beach every day with friends.
With our friends, exactly. It was.
Of course, it was awesome.
And at the end of the day, we got a really cool video out of it. So it's like
in a particularly interesting beach too, like the Venice one.
Venice Beach.
And the last day, I let myself swim.
Oh
yeah. That's right. That's right. We never went swimming once. Oh well, no. Actually, that's not true. Georgie and I went into the water one time.
Almost got swept away.
Almost got swept. Oh my gosh! I don't know why we thought it'd be. We like, look how big those waves are.
Waves
Let's
are
go
big.
run it.
They're huge.
All of our clothes come off, and we go into the water, and we I see this giant rock.
It's like getting dark, and it's.
Oh yeah, it was getting dark too.
Mm-hmm. It was getting dark. It was getting cold, but we wanted to.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't go in. I'm such a shit. I'm just like,
I did the same thing. I was
way
like,
too
oh my
cold.
God.
But no, I honestly. And I honestly think, and I could be very wrong, but I honestly think that that's the video that helped tremendously in the streaming this year, because it was the showcased video on the channel right when the nominees were being considered.
I also think that the varying content format was helpful.
Yeah, it kind of
and the high quality comedy.
Well, it was a good sampler of many different formats we do. The POV comedy where like Sebastian or Mom, they're talking to the camera, mixed with the the TV format of, let's say, like Flint Dicker, or mixed with the documentary format of the British couple, mixed with Stefan and Sam, which is a weird. It was blended, and you never questioned the change in format.
There's so many plays with that Western town, which is like the
Western
town.
Oh gosh, so the Western town that we always film at for the Western couple. Right. So sad. That place burned down in the wildfires here in California. It's very, very beautiful area.
For those,
it's crazy.
There's maybe some people have heard of it also through like Westworld. Like that's where they shot.
They shot Westworld.
A lot of Westworld. The
Little House on the Prairie was shot there a long time ago.
Little House on the Prairie with a little church there. Yeah.
A lot of, I think maybe a lot more than we even think.
Me and you have actually gone to scout that place and seen like once or twice productions
being filmed there. So that raises the question, because the day that the fires happened, someone sent me a picture of that place, and it was actually really kind of beautiful. Everything was charred. It looked like a nuke had gone off. Everything was black. And just, buildings were standing at most
back to destruction, being beautiful.
Damn.
But go on.
It was. But what was beautiful about it was that the church was untouched. The church was the only thing the fire didn't get. So it was like this church standing among all this rubble.
So the Prairie House, whatever, actually made it.
It made it.
Wow.
It made it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so I thought that was. So I'm like, it could still be a cool location, but I do wonder. It raises the question, because so many studios have vested interest in this place. Will it be rebuilt? And I
would have thought that they would have even insured it, maybe. But like, why would they rebuild it?
Because it makes money.
Oh yeah.
But then it's like, if you're rebuilding it, then you've lost the quality of all the hills in the distance. All the hills in the distance are all black.
They'll be back.
Like they'll be back. Yeah, but it's like it's everything. There's just so many. It just looks.
Yeah, you're
horrible.
Right. Probably a few. But who's going to give that money?
I don't know. It's a good question.
The insurance company.
Hopefully, I'd imagine a place like that is insured.
I'm sure they're insured.
If they're insured,
sure they're insured, and they'll rebuild it.
Yeah,
good. They better. They better do it now because I want to go.
Yeah, but that was a tragedy to cap off 2018.
I really
lost a lot in that.
A lot of people died.
A lot of people died
in California, not just those wildfires, but the ones up north.
Yeah.
It's very sad. That is right before the holiday season too. Jesus Christ, like that's horrible. But you know what? This
looking to see less fires in 2019.
Less fires
Hopefully
in 2019. I actually have
less fires, fewer fires.
No, we won't. We'll see more. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, we wanted the dream.
The dream is that fewer things and people will burn.
Gabe's like, I hope I see more.
I don't know. Just should we shouldn't? It's gonna.
Gabe's like things though.
Yeah,
things. I want more things. To burn.
Because it's like that same. Oh, never mind. This is gonna be a whole thing. Let's keep it to 2018.
I think that
I have a debate. I just have a debate about stuff sometimes in my mind.
What to destroy and what to let live.
Not at all. Just like I wonder sometimes, like, is it better to point something out and laugh at it, or is it better to point something out and take it seriously for what it is?
Point something out and laugh at it.
Probably.
After
for all of our sanity, I would assume so, but maybe it's like,
we need more information about what this thing is.
Let me put it this way. I think laughing at something is only worth doing if you understand the gravity of it. So like people who make racist jokes just to be racist, I don't think that's clever. But I think people who make jokes that mock racism or that can
touch on, that make you reflect on maybe your racism, where you're just like, wow, and you let something in like that, you let a truth in through the laughter.
I think that is where it's if you know what I mean, like I think you have to really understand
we just
how
need
bad
Nazis to be like.
I like that.
I think you need to understand the consequence or how bad something is if you're going to laugh at something, poking fun at it, because then then you're just laughing at it. I think that this in the new year I have a resolution to in that sense have to be more enlightened. I think I was really thinking long and hard about this last week about just like, what do I want from 2019? I've been very, very lucky and very fortunate these last few years, to be doing, ultimately working my dream job. So it's like 2019, what's my resolution? And I think enlightenment. I think, my birthday this year, I would just like to say really quick, this is probably one of the most special birthdays I've had in my life. Not because of what went into it, which you guys threw a bomb party for me this year. It was they rented an Airbnb with a giant pool in the backyard, and we had a massive pool party. All my friends and people in LA, like everyone I know, everyone was there.
Super fun.
And it was a lot of fun. But that also, coincidentally, the reason why that birthday was my favorite was that I was turning 30 that day, and my birthday was on a Saturday, and we just wrapped The Day Before a Day at the Beach and uploaded it.
Wow, you're right.
A Day at the Beach was
just uploaded.
I remember I came home and I'm still in the Blame costume, and I was going on a month and a half long fast from marijuana. And I said on my birthday at 12 a.m. on August 3rd, I'm going to get high. So we happened to finish A Day at the Beach at like 11 p.m. that night. And I called up everyone in my building that night. And I said, you know what, you guys, I'm finished with this video a lot earlier than I thought it would be. I said, you guys want to come up here and watch it with me? And let's all smoke weed because I'm also breaking my fast in an hour. So it was a screening of fun. A Day at the Beach, all this hard work, but then like this impromptu like neighbors party of like just everyone, Sujan and just everyone we just up in my apartment, and then the next day we had the we had the pool party, and we had
It's like a great 72 hours.
But the reason I bring this up is that I was, and I can talk about this now because I feel like I'm in a little bit more hindsight of this than I was over the summer. But like I was going through a severe depression in I shouldn't say severe. There are no, this was not a severe depression. There are people who actually are going through some shit. But this was definitely I was definitely feeling down right around the time of like July or maybe even June, and I was just like trying a bunch of things to get happy. I drove to Vegas one weekend by myself to like try and get my mind off of things, and I was just really feeling not creative. I wasn't feeling good about myself, and I felt like a lot of people, like I just felt like I don't know. I'd forgotten how many friends and family I had around me, and I felt very lonely. And I'm like, and then the birthday party happened, and it was just seeing everyone, and that mixed with the Day at the Beach, where we are already working with all of our friends and people who are close in our circles here in LA, at least. I know it's not family, but it's family here. And just to see everyone come together for A Day at the Beach, and then come together for my birthday right after that, right after I feel like I was just stressed everyone out shooting this long ass project, and then they all come together to celebrate my birthday. And it was the most, and I mean no disrespect to anyone back home listening to this, but it really truly was like one of the most loving experiences of my life, that birthday, because it just showed all of that depression about me being lonely, people don't like me, people hate me, was just incinerated in a day. Right. Not to mention I started going to therapy a couple months before that too. So that was helping as well.
A couple breakthroughs too.
But the therapy, and I suggest everyone, no matter how mentally sane you think you are, everyone needs to go through therapy. I think I've said that before, but I really do. I can't stress it enough. This therapist, I mean, he definitely...
Because you are crazy.
But he definitely, that month, July, August, when we were doing A Day at the Beach, he helped put everything into perspective for me. He helped... he's like, see, Brandon, you do effort. He kind of showed me like what I'm overlooking.
Yeah, it's helpful to have a positive guide in your mind, because you forget that like that is something you have to manage too. Like take care of your body, take care of your spirit. Like don't forget to take care of your mind.
Right.
You didn't think about that one, did you?
And I think no one ever talks about. When I was growing up, people never talked about. Like I was never taught in school about mental illness or mental health. It was just never on the table. I don't know if it is now.
Stigmatized.
Wait, you're right.
Because if you go to
they didn't.
Never.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'm trying to shame Gabe here by making eye contact and saying,
but did we?
Anyways,
those crazy people, like because you're the crazy one if you go to therapy.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you notice in these last few videos we've done, I've used a lot of actors and a lot of the familiar like people that we work with. I just think that ever since my birthday, this year I've been very thankful for everyone around me, and I've been very, I'm enjoying their company more than I guess. I don't know. I just have a different mindset on everyone around me, and I can't, I feel like I can't work with enough people. It's just like, I feel like I want to.
Good.
And so does that make sense what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
Anyways, so that's why my resolution for 2019 really is just more enlightenment. I want, that was a form of enlightenment that I never expected it would fall into my lap. July, between A Day at the Beach and my birthday, I never thought I'd get out of it what I took. And so I think this upcoming year, I want to definitely... I don't know.
How are you going to pursue that is my question.
I don't know. I guess I want to be more open-minded and mindful to other people's perceptions, and not live in my own head as much. I think even just I'm house sitting or babysitting a dog right now for my friend, and even just spending time with the dog, like I don't know. It's like thinking about how this dog sees me. I look at the dog and I come home and the dog's all happy to see me, and I'm like, I wonder what this dog's world is like. He has this whole other perception of, he thought I was gone all day long. He thought I was going to be gone forever. Mm-hmm. And now he's like so happy that I'm home. And like, I don't know, like whenever the dog does something bad, like I'll tell him, no, that's bad. But then I don't know, I see like, I want to like, empathize more. Like I'm like, oh, he probably just did that because I didn't let him out today, or he probably. And I think these last few months I've been kind of empathizing,
You've been beating him.
When I've been throwing
no
him
reason.
against the wall. I'll put his head in the toilet.
Good.
Right.
Whenever he does something good.
I guess what I'm trying to say, and I'm having trouble articulating my thoughts, but
No,
I think what
I'm
trying to say is these last few months I've also just been more, not just aware of the people around me, but just kind of trying to live in their heads more and trying to understand, like if they do something that initially upsets me, trying to be like, well, hold on, why did they do that? And why did, imagine it from their technique.
Yeah.
And so I guess enlightenment in terms of just my inner, like just the people around me and my connections to those around me, I think that just being more in the minds of other people and understanding how they think and why they do the things they do can eliminate so much human drama on my connections. At
Agreed.
least.
And I think that even if you don't quite know what that means to you, you should figure out, like, it's like, well, I know that I want to be enlightened. What does that mean exactly? I need to figure this out more specifically. How do I do that? I need to figure that out. But even just knowing that that's something you want is important and is a it's a step.
Right. I do.
And you also are realizing that it's like in part empathy. Like I consider moments of great empathy that I have for other people to be a moment of enlightenment. So I need more of that, etc.
I think I spent a good chunk of 2018 focusing on my mental health, and I think it's one thing to be mentally healthy. I think it's another level to be mentally wise and just to be really just wisdom in terms of just trying to there's certain people who just spit out wisdom all the time, and I want to be one of those people who just everything they can say is quotable, and everything they have such a great outlook on life and people, and they're like I want to just in 2019 increase my perspective's value as much as possible, or the value of my perspective as much as possible.
More positive curiosity.
Exactly. I really want to go into because I was raised really sheltered in a lot of aspects. And I was sent into my adulthood kind of fearful of a lot of things that are out there. Mm-hmm. And these last few years, I've been immersed in so many different lives and so many different, cultures just in the last year. Mm. And I feel like what it's taught me is the world isn't as, and just going on tour and going to all the different cities we've been to has shown me the world is not as scary of a place as you think it is. So now let's try and get to know the people in it and just become more accepting and knowledgeable of the many lives around you, especially now that we're, big names on social media, on YouTube. It's like we're immersed in so many lives, and I want to just really ride that wave of feeling connected with everyone.
Yeah, so say build good connections.
Exactly. And while we're on that topic, I'm sorry, I just have to say the tour. We haven't even talked about the
when you mention that right now, when you mention that right now, I was like,
the tour might actually be very much
a tour. Is a huge thing.
It was something that's been on the table for a while. We've been talking about it gently for a very long time, and then finally, I think in March. March was our first date, I think,
can't recall, but it was early in the year.
It was early in the year, and we went to about 14 cities, I want to say. Yeah. And it was, oh my God, 14 cities. And they're all pretty evenly spread out across the country, as much as we could at least, There was a lot of cities I really wanted to go to. We didn't have the time to go to them. But that was really intense, doing a full-blown tour while maintaining the YouTube channel, while, setting up for this podcast, while doing, whatever else we're having on the table. So the tour was definitely... What do you think?
And you guys hadn't performed in front of that many people. I mean,
we
since high school, or
I haven't performed in front of that many people since a high school play. Since a high school play, really. I mean, I did speech and debate in college, but that was they weren't there to see me. They weren't. I was part of an event. Yeah. This was the first time. You could say it. This was the first time in my life I've had an audience come to just see, me and Gabe. It was, it really was mind blowing to walk out on that stage and you look at this sea of people, all these heads looking back at you, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ! The dream has manifested itself into a physicality before my eyes, and in spades.
It was also unexpected because I don't think at any point did we ever think we were going to do something like that.
Never.
It just never. Really
we never thought, oh hey, maybe one day we can do a live thing.
Right? No.
And you know what's funny is that it really the first show was of course our one of our roughest because it was just it might not be our roughest. It was our first show, but then once we started getting into the groove of it, we started getting comfortable enough to start playing and riffing on things that we knew the audience was going to find funny. Right. And then we started adding characters to the show. We went from city to city and
adding a premiere of a video as they came along.
Oh yeah, if there was a new video coming out that we happened to finish before or get finished,
which was fun. That was like a screening.
Right, we would screen videos at these live shows, being like, "This video comes out next week, but you guys get it." And it was so cool because you could.
Everyone seemed to have such a great time. Like everyone's engagement was great.
I don't know if this is a real thing or if I just have lived in LA for too long, but the energy is there. I think the energy, because I felt it when I walked on. Every time I go onto that stage, you feel like just the positivity hits you in the face like a bag of dicks. It just boom, all nervousness gone.
It is interesting looking at people smiling.
Yeah. You know? Smiling back. Oh my God, you're right. Because I'm still mentally, like I remember speech and debate, you walk on stage and everyone has a straight face. They're all just looking at you, waiting for you to wow them. And here, the expression on their face is, wow, like 50% of the reason I bought the ticket's already paid for because here you are in person. Because I've been there. I've gone to see people I love live. And as soon as I see that person come out on stage, I'm like, boom, half the reason I bought the ticket is already paid for. I see them there in front of me and my face is lit up when I do that. So when I go out on stage and I get to see that same reaction, like, oh my God, there he is in person. It makes me feel really, really special. And I feel really like this can't be happening. This isn't real. Like what? This is
it's interesting. And for me, like watching fans in the show, it's very interesting to connect the faces of humans to a view count.
Right.
And to just imagine everyone, like this person on their phone, this person prefers their computer, this person definitely phone, blah, blah. And just like people with headphones on, watching it in class, watching it at home, watching it while they're doing their homework.
Right.
Like all the faces that watch the content and just like so beautiful and smiley.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful to put a face to and to hear from them in more than just likes and comments.
Yeah. It's like these are the humans.
These are humans. You could hear them laugh and giggle. You could hear them fart. You could hear them. You can hear them doing it. Like just
great farters. Your fans.
I love. Oh my God! I had so much fun just jumping off that fucking stage and like running up to people with the mic and like having a really personal one-on-one with them. If like a couple shows, I noticed there would be like people who would come by themselves and they'd be sitting like in a corner by themselves, and I'm like, why the fuck is no one sitting with this person?
And you're awesome. And you're awesome for doing that.
And I would go. I call them. I'd jump off the stage. I'd sit next to them, and I'd be like, "All right, I'm going to get you some pussy tonight. What's your name?" And he's like, and then they'd say the name, and I'd be like, "All right, guys, look how beautiful this guy is here. Let's get the house lights on. You stand up. Look how beautiful he is." And like, I would always like. Yeah, and it's funny. It's like when I do the meet and greet afterward, you see people who come up, and I'm like, "Oh, like, so are you guys, siblings? Are you guys friends? Did you guys come together?" They're like, "No, we just met in line." And it's like people would have like these like friendships. Right? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like people are making friends while like coming to the show, and it was also so touching to see in the meet and greet. A lot of people actually would come with their siblings. They would come with a brother or sister, and I just remember thinking, because my brother and I, we're not. We love each other very much, but we do not have any of the same interests, really.
Right.
We would never go to something. That's something I can't relate to, taking a sibling to something.
If you had a Brandon Rogers...
Right. And so
you shared with your brother.
So to see these people coming together with siblings and laughing together, it's it's like, I guess I can kind of relate to this. Sometimes my brother and I would go to movies together, but that's not the same. Like a concert or a stand-up show, like those are like events you go to.
Yeah, you need someone like we're both really into this.
Right. Yeah. And so that was really cool to see. It was couples, all sorts of.
Yeah, you got to see everyone.
We got to
across the country, and you got to see the country.
I got to see the country, and I got to see how different people behaved in different cities. Which
city personalities.
To me, that was the most fascinating. One of my favorite parts of the tour actually was to immerse myself. Like remember I was telling you about the whole human interconnection thing, immersing myself in different cultures and just really, when in roaming it. Like just going around.
We usually went out once, at least once.
We go out once, and we usually tried to adopt the culture of whatever that place was. Like we usually didn't no, this is what they do here. Oh yeah, that's great. Let's do that. Yeah.
In Alabama, like we did meth.
A lot of cocaine. Right. None of these things.
But we in most of the cities we went to, we made like really good friendships with people. Like we met some people that we really did like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
We met
wowzers.
And we met some crazy people too.
No. It's just how fun. Cause there is a certain element where we were really, really, really there for something specific, and then we leave. And so it was almost like a constant vacation. Like when you meet people on vacation, it's different. There's a different energy. It's like that knowledge that this really is a specific moment. Like, this is it. If we're not hanging out now, it's gone. And that can be inspiring. That can be fun, you know?
It's like let's go crazy for a night because we're never going to see each other again.
Right. Oh, no, well, you also just become a little bit more. At least that too. I guess I don't know what that.
No, I
don't know your personal journey. I'm just going to sidewalk over. No, but it's I thought it was really interesting to just have that type of experience in a place where like we were doing it for a reason. It wasn't for a vacation, yet we were able to see things that people go on vacation for.
Right. Interesting. That's interesting. We were able to see it through a different scope, you know, and we were there with a purpose. We were everywhere we went. I always felt really important only because we were there with a purpose. I didn't look important.
It could be a subliminal thing.
Right. You know, people go to Philly for vacations, but we went there to see how people vacation here.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Because these are places also I'd always heard of my whole life, you know.
I've only known vacations.
Like Austin, Portland.
It's like,
plenty of...
I feel like a lot of people have heard of Portland. They're like, you know what, I'm going to check that out one day. And then it's very hard to check that out.
Right.
And when you see it, it's like, okay, I'm here for a reason, so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be mean about it.
Right. We're like, this is for work, but there's a good amount of, let me check this out. And,
you know, I will say this.
Curiosity.
Everything I wanted to see, I saw. Like, okay, we're going to the city. I know we're only here for one or two nights, but as long as I can see this, then I'm good.
We're not touristy guys, though. When we went to any place, remember I think the first time we went to England, we did do like BBTV, they brought us and did like tourist stuff.
Yeah.
But me and you going out, we just like to be outside and like hang out.
But see, the touristy things, I don't consider that culture. I consider that when I say there's things I want to see or do, that means like I want to get a cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like that kind of stuff.
It was easy for us to accomplish that because all we really had to do was just try to live.
I want to,
someone there for a second.
Right. I don't want to get on a bus and be driven around ever.
I want to like party on 6th Street in Austin because they tear that place up at night.
That's
and like,
right.
I want to, I want to, I want to
do a home brew in Portland and be like, y'all make your own.
That's what we did.
Snuffle.
We went to a brewery out there. That's one thing I wanted to do was get a brewery and get a voodoo donut. Even though they have voodoo donuts everywhere. Right. I've never had voodoo donuts, and I wanted to go to the original one.
And like, let me see one of your bookstores.
Remember, I brought back like a dozen, and voodoo donuts are about the size of a prolapsed asshole. They're huge, and there's imagine 12 of these things, and we brought them back, and we just got really high and just ate donuts on the day that we didn't have to perform, and that was fun. Portland, I have to say, is a magical place. I mean, all the cities we went to, I can't praise enough. They were magical in their own way. I already knew New York was dope. I already knew, that Austin was going to be great. I've never been there, but I already knew it was going to be fantastic. Phoenix was surprisingly, people there were very humble and like very nice. I was very surprised by just like how neighborly that city was.
I always heard they're real dicks over there, but they're good. I truthfully had no idea what to expect, but I really did feel like everywhere we went, it was beautiful in their own way. Like the people, mostly, and I think we probably mentioned this before, but how sweet and how genuine, how nice all the people were. I mean, it could be because they're just going to the show and they already have this image, and so maybe they're just going to be nice to us, whatever. But they seem like different than a lot of the kids that I see walking around. Like they seem to be sweet. I don't know. Is that weird? I did not word that right at all, did I?
No.
They
How do you describe
from
it?
A different cloth.
They come from a different. I know because I'm worried to say like they're the more outcasty original types of the crowd, but it's like that sounds unfair.
Our viewers are definitely the people who they're more alternative than
right.
I totally agree. Every time we've met a group of them, or I've seen them come up, I'm always struck by how they tend to be shyer, more shy, and that like even watching your material and you, it's like a much more outward version of them. And but they're sweet.
Well, here when I was their age,
introverts largely.
Yeah. When I was that age,
yes.
I could relate to them on a like I look at these kids and I see myself in a lot of like they dress like
all kinds of people. Just for the record,
there's all kinds of people. But
when
I was in high school, I was definitely the cliche like outcast kid who I love to draw a lot. I love to write a lot, and I wore a lot of Hot Topic stuff. I listened to a lot of music. I hung out with a lot of kids who also had long hair like me. And and I'd color my hair and they'd color their hair. It was just I was one of those kids. And that's not like our whole fan base, but a lot of people who come up to me, look like a version of myself in high school. And that makes me feel good, because it makes me feel because when I was in high school, I was very creative. It was the first time I realized I loved writing. I was just constantly drawing and writing. And so when I see people who remind me of my high school self come up to me and say they like my work now, it reminds me, okay, good. I haven't lost that spark that I had when I was very young. Because that I want to try and write out. When I was young, I was cranking out scripts constantly. And so it's very flattering to see that that's our fan base,
That's amazing.
But no, and definitely the tour,
yeah, so there's the tour, there's Stefan and Sam, there's Day at the Beach.
What else did we do this year? Jesus Christ. Of course there's the convention. I mean, I wouldn't say we did the playlist and VidCon and all, but that happens every year, though. It's not specific to 2019. Yeah. But that was fun.
No, what changed this year, and I think it was this year, that we went to these conventions and it was the first time that we felt like a little bit like a veteran, but not... But
people knew who we were for once. It felt like.
Well, just that because the first year, oh my God, dude! Remember the first time we went to a convention?
Yeah,
and there was a bunch of. That was one of the wildest sensations I've ever had, because this the amount of energy that the people were throwing. Yeah. But then then the second time you go, it doesn't feel that. And so now it's like a few years later, and we're still having a great experience. But now we felt like, all right, we've gone through the ropes of it a bit. And that was different this year.
Right. It was...
and we were socializing differently in it. And
we were, yeah. The first year we went, I remember none of the other creators knew, or most of them didn't know who we were. And this year, it's just, here we are 3 years later, it's like, there's a different element that we walk in the room and it's like, whether or not they like us, there's definitely a reputation that precedes.
And we still don't know anybody, really. I don't think we make it. We're not...
We're
not rocking any boats here.
No,
it was just our general energy towards it. Just I felt personally.
Yeah, and also the mobbing thing was a very, very weird thing at first. Seeing fans come up and ask for, and that was there was a
but that first one specifically, the first time I ever saw that happen, it was one of the most strangest, unique experiences.
It was for me too. Yeah, it was the first time we'd seen.
Dude, I remember I literally walked away from you, and you were following because you didn't want to be left alone. But then I didn't really, leave you. But it was just it was overwhelming to have that many people swarm. And it was you that was swarming, but it was. Oh my God, that energy was incredible.
Well, keep in mind too, we both were coming from smoking a J,
and
so I'm
keep in mind Gabe's neurotic tick of not being able to
be around people.
Yeah, be within 10 feet of them.
Yeah, no, awkward. And I remember I was just smiling a lot. Just awkwardly smiling, But so it was just fun. And then anyways,
that was an interesting first time. Yeah,
an interesting one.
Well, no, years ago. Now it's like I said, like you were saying, that now you feel differently about it, and it just different energy.
So then, for 2019, more enlightenment, specifically empathy.
Yes.
What as far as the work do you want to see more of? What's
in terms
of
what
do you want to see more of? There's so many great things about 2018. What do you want even more of in 2019?
I really want more content generated. I think 2019. I feel like we're on a good roll right now in terms of content. We've been releasing something almost every week lately, and I really feel like the more we make, the more opportunities for great projects like A Day at the Beach, or great projects that we can fall in love with, that are fun to look forward to. I'm my happiest when I'm on a set filming or acting or direct, making our videos. So I hope in 2019, I want to continue working with more and more other creators, but specifically, I just want to do more stuff. I want to get into a rhythm that feels like it's not draining mentally, but so far, every time, this is, we've always had a huge project over our heads. And these next few months, it'll be nice to just kind of, focus on these, routine, podcasts and doing the YouTube vids, working with other, companies and whatnot, doing other outside projects, but not necessarily, taking a few months to not carry such a heavy project outside of what we're already doing, you know. So I think I'd like to use this time wisely before we have another big project fall into our laps. Right. Use this time and crank out as much stuff. So until
January, February is the time to do it.
Yeah. So I guess that's and just like I said, overall, just enlightenment. I want to connect more with the people I see.
That.
And
I want enlightenment.
I want a little bit of
shit.
that.
I need me some of that.
That's number one.
It's number 1. 1 to 9. Every man number 10.
Oh, that's number one, most important. Sorry. What about you, Gabriel? What are you hoping to see in 2019?
Man.
Yeah, resolution or see more of.
Resolution, see more of. I mean, my goodness, those are very. I don't want to get weird here, but a little personal. I got weird. I don't want to say it, but no, it's good.
All right, so Gabriel has some very important and very interesting resolutions that you can't hear.
One of them would probably be around. I love everything that we do because it allows like the ultimate way to look into yourself. You know, what I mean by that is what we do. I feel like it forces you to like go inside a bit and to see like, well, then what do we do? You know, like what is the outside energy that we're putting out? What we have a responsibility in a certain sense. You know? And I like that feeling. And so then I want to be the best version of myself so that my reflection out into the world and the thing that people are receiving from my end in these videos and from other things is to be the best version of, you know, because whatever I put out there,
right,
I want, you know,
right,
it has to be, and that has to come from a pure place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, same as you, enlightenment, but yeah.
Now you want to make more work specifically that does that.
Yes. I want to do more work that does that. But I mean, we're already doing work, but it's just,
right.
I want to, you know.
There's all this work, but I mean, other things that you create in your life, whether or not it's an artistic piece or.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful year. I do have, I really am going to have, I think this is going to be a beautiful year for all of us. It's going to be a good year. I can feel it.
I think so. 2019.
What about you, Jonathan? Do you have any resolutions?
You know, I want to make some more of my little sketches. I just want to be releasing them more frequently because they really do make me happy. I mean, I love working with you guys.
Oh no,
and this is great. And that's another thing.
If you guys haven't already, you should check out Jonathan Hinman's sketches that he does on Instagram. Well, on YouTube, and you put them both places, right?
I do, just to see what's up.
They're actually really funny. They're like, I don't know.
Thanks.
It's like
thanks.
I can't describe them. They're
like weirder, like a silly version of
manly,
a logical person.
Right. A lot of them are over the top manly ads for ridiculous products or ridiculous items. They're really clever. You should check out. What's the Instagram? Right. It's
Hinman Man on Instagram and Jonathan Hinman on YouTube.
That's
check it out. But yeah, just and like those, those I can do on the weekends and then just have them. I just have, it's just something I don't always dedicate myself to.
What do you edit though? Is that Premiere or
Final Cut?
Final Cut. Okay. Oh, that's right. I knew that. Yeah. No, they're very impressive because you throw them together so quickly, and it's like, oh my god, the post on these things is. It
actually really helped with these videos too. Like the more I edit my own stuff, the more I'm like, oh, do you need a such and such coverage? And you're like, right. That would be good. And it's like, right, hey, that was helpful.
Yeah, because you think from the mindset of an editor. Yeah, it's different. Once I started editing,
I try to do that anyway, but like it's helpful. It's just helpful.
I really do feel like I mean, I don't think it's essential to be a good director, but I think having a good sense of editing helps a lot in the directing process.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's for a 2019 topic when we're doing more amazing masterpieces.
When we're smoking our cigars with monocles.
Gosh, no, I really feel like 2019 is going to be a great year for the channel. I think that the last few years we've been kind of having our minds on other big scale projects outside of YouTube, and I think this year there's definitely a few ideas I'm cooking up for just really good entertainment on the channel, not just the standalone character videos, but stuff worth tuning back to get more of. And so. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun year.
It's going to be a great year, 2019.
I have a lot of ideas in the oven, a lot of new characters, a lot of old characters, a lot of just crazy concepts that I think hopefully you guys will enjoy. And please have a happy and fun and safe New Year. Whatever you do, don't get caught. Okay, remember it's
That's
only
the key.
yes, it is only you only fucked up if you got caught, and so whatever you do, just make sure you're safe. And Christmas has been a lot of food. If you start drinking a lot of that beer, I mean, ask yourself, do you want to continue letting yourself go? I mean, New Year's is the time to do a vodka shot. Vodka's great for keto and is low calories. Just do a shot of vodka and follow it with the spritzer of a diet Red Bull. That's what I do. But it's getting that time of year where we're going to have to start tightening up our bellies. And so, I hope you guys just don't overdo. Why am I talking so much about weight loss right now? Jesus
That's
Christ!
the other resolution.
The other resolution.
That's my other one. I actually do want to get in really good shape. That is my one other one. But
nice.
Anyways, well, guys, I hope you had a great time, and I hope you had an even better year. Because if your year was not as good as this podcast, well, then I guess I'm happy to be the peak of it. The pinnacle.
Either way.
Yes.
But I hope you don't hate this and also like it more than your life.
It's a happy medium, and you better be in it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, we are the Deep Ball Billionaires.